UConn fans getting ready for college football on Sunday. Next, welcome to the American Athletic Conference on ESPN. Today from East Hartford, Connecticut, the UConn Huskies host the ECU Pirates in the first conference game of the season for both teams. As we come to you on this Sunday for college football, after Hurricane Irma struck throughout Florida, here's the rescheduling of many games involving USF and UCF here in the American. Hi everyone, Mike Corey alongside former NFL running back Rainey Ngolia. Good to be with you. How fun was yesterday? A rare Saturday for us. We had the whole day watching college football, some outstanding games.
It was great. We got to watch a lot of games, and the best thing for us, the week's not over. We got a good one here today.
We do. Two teams here today trying to reset their season a little bit in the first conference game. UConn looking to get their talented wideout Hergy Mayala involved and stretch the field a little bit today.
He's a good one, Hergy Mayala. 6'2", one of those bigger receivers, can stretch the field vertically, strong enough to go over the middle as well. You know, his first 2 years at UConn never found the end zone. Has found it 3 times already today, doing a nice job. He's a big part of this UConn offense.
Speaking of wide receivers, ECU has had so many good ones come through their program. Another solid trio again this year.
Yeah, really, ECU has become wide receiver U as you look at the numbers from Jimmy Williams, Quay Johnson, and Davon Grayson. They have excellent speed on the perimeter, something that the UConn defensive backs have to respect. But with that said, Mike, both of these wide receiving cores today, for them to be productive, they have to get the running game going. Which team wants to win this game more up front is going to tell a lot.
ECU won the toss. They have deferred. And UConn will receive, moving from right to left to start here today as Caleb Pratt sets up to kick off. Beautiful day here today in Connecticut here on this Sunday. 90 degrees. We had 90 degrees yesterday as well, Rainey, here in late September.
You cannot beat this day. I mean, look how it's gorgeous, sunny.
Big kick by Pratt, and UConn will start from the 25 to begin here today. Bryant Sheriffs, the graduate student quarterback, 6'2", 210 out of Jefferson, Georgia, started his career at NC State. Didn't begin the season as the starter, but is back into the lineup now.
Well, he's an excellent runner, and it's funny, both these teams kind of mirror each other offensively. Both quarterbacks are known for their running ability, and again, as I said in the open, they have to establish a run, and a lot of it is going to be how well these quarterbacks can read the defense and get the running game going.
It'll be play action to start as he goes deep over the middle and just overthrows Mayala, who was totally wide open.
The DB fell down, Mayala wide open, and that is just, that's something you just have to hit if you're Sheriffs. I mean, defender goes right down, and you see the route. It's just a post pattern. There's no safety in the middle of the field. It's just one-on-one coverage there, and that you just have to connect with that.
Could have been one outstanding start for UConn. Instead, second down carry goes to Kevin Mensah, the true freshman out of Worcester, Mass, and they really like him. So getting help off the field, Mayala is out, and it's 3rd and 3 for UConn. Sheriffs taken down. Not going to get the first. Alex Turner was in there. Sophomore defensive tackle for ECU, and it's punt time.
Well, and that's what this ECU defense hasn't been doing enough of. Good pressure from the front four, and as you said, Alex Turner, a young defensive tackle, 6'2", 290 out of Houston, Texas, gets off the block, gets to Sheriffs to make that tackle, and just like that, a 3 and out, and they're punting.
Rainey, Sheriffs hobbling a little bit there in a slight limp coming off the field.
Yeah, boy, and just not the way Randy Edsall wanted to start with this offense, especially with the chance to hit a big one on the first play.
Brett Graham, the punter. Fair catch was called for by Quay Johnson, and he lets it go out at the 35. So now ECU's chance here, a team that comes in at 0-3, Rainey. You were doing their first game of the season in that loss at home to James Madison.
Yeah, you know, Gardner Minshew had won the starting job in that ECU game. They put in Thomas Sirk, the graduate transfer from Duke. He's known as a runner. He's a big-bodied quarterback, 6'4", 220 pounds, a lot of experience. And, you know, Scotty Montgomery is leaning on him to lead this offense.
Sirk on the keeper on a first down run, gets to the 40-yard line and picks up 5. Second year for head coach Scotty Montgomery, the former offensive coordinator at Duke, helped the Blue Devils to 3 straight bowl appearances while he was there.
And off to a rough start this season. This is a very important game for this ECU program today.
They give it to Grayson now on the end around. Davon Grayson, and he has a first down for the Pirates.
And the first thing I've noticed is offensive coordinator Tony Peterson, look at the tempo, Mike. He said he was going to go up-paced. The offense felt more comfortable, and they are ready to go after these plays. Very good sign for ECU.
Already up to midfield after a gain of 10. And now the give to Darrell Scott, and he's met right at the line. In fact, will lose a yard. Foley Fatukasi, a senior defensive lineman, one of their best.
Yeah, 50-year guy, really big and strong, and they're very experienced. You see how he sheds the block and gets to the running back for that tackle. I mean, that's a load to deal with. Fatukasi, 6'4", 303 pounds there in the middle.
Another give to Scott, and the same result. Good job by the UConn defense again. Junior Joseph led the charge this time with Chris Britton.
And that's what a middle linebacker should do. Junior Joseph, number 11, coming inside out. And you see the speed he played with. That was a problem that this UConn defense had, talking to Billy Crocker, their defensive coordinator. They wanted to simplify it this week, put him in a couple defenses, and let him play aggressively and fast. That's what they did right there.
Crowd coming alive on 3rd and 10. Sirk has a man wide open for the catch and the first down. Nice reception by Quay Johnson to the 28, gain of 22.
And Johnson's kind of that smaller receiver. He just runs a seam route right down the slot, doesn't get picked up, and good recognition by Thomas Sirk to immediately put it on him for the nice play.
Quick play fake by Sirk, goes to the end zone. It is caught, and it's a touchdown. Davon Grayson on the reception from 17 yards out.
And just great protection up front. The freshman Darius Penix with a great block. Boy, Mike, what great camera work. He got that foot in. He controlled the ball, completed the catch to the ground, and act common to the game. This is a touchdown.
What a catch by Grayson. His second touchdown reception of the season, and an opening drive for a touchdown by the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, excellent job. Frank Kosman, the replay official, will look at it, but you can see already that's a good catch.
$7-0 East Carolina. Thomas Sirk to Davon Grayson. ECU able to march 65 yards down the field on their opening possession. 7-0 with a touchdown from that man Thomas Sirk to Davon Grayson, really their longest scoring drive of the season.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. The thing I liked about it, the tempo, the pace was good. It was smooth, and there was a good mix, a good ratio between run pass, picking up first downs on the ground, and then, of course, opening up in the passing game.
And that's what the ECU fans are looking for this season. And let's kind of document it. Tough first game against James Madison, although FCS, they were the national champs last year. Then you play Virginia Tech, West Virginia. It wasn't easy. In this game, more their speed, and I think that's what they were expecting from their opening drive.
Yeah, and
to give, though, to Keon Dixon as he comes around the outside and is taken out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Should be enough for the first down, and it is.
That's a good play call. Listen, you got to mix it up, and Brett Lashley, the offensive coordinator, we know what kind of mind he has coming here from Auburn. in his first season here at UConn, and he's the type of coordinator that can mix it up, and that's a good speed play to start their possession.
Sheriffs gets it out to Dixon, now incomplete. Hit the turf. Back to Lashley and what he did at Auburn in the 4 seasons there from 2013 to 2016. Of course, everything's scrutinized so much of the high-power programs.
He takes over a UConn offense that really last year statistically was one of the worst in the country. Only averaged 17 points a game, and quite contrast in offense this year compared to what they were running last year. And it takes a few weeks to get going. They said this was the best 3 days of practice they've had all year.
Sheriff's pressure in his face, dumps it off for Arnel Newsome, gets some blocks. Newsome at midfield, into ECU territory with a first and more, a gain of 23.
And that's what you need to do. Get the ball in the hands of your skill players in space. Arnel Newsome's very good catching the ball, made a nice catch and a nice pickup.
And now they can move fast. And Newsome taken down after just a 1-yard gain this time. And boy, you think this guy, he needs to get going. He had 14 carries for 17 total yards coming into the game. That was a big burst.
And again, he's the type of player in space. He can be dangerous catching the ball, move him around. They really like the true freshman, Kevin Mensah, who's in right now. Good downhill runner.
Play fake to him, Sheriffs again. Pressure in his face, dumps it off for Mason Donaldson. And the tight end goes in for the touchdown. Five-yard strike on his first reception of his career, and it goes for a TD.
Tremendous play action by Sheriffs to Mensah. Rolls out and throws an absolute strike to Mason Donaldson, the redshirt freshman, right down the middle of the field. No safety. It was vacated. He puts it on him. 45 yards later, he's in the end zone.
Redshirt freshman with a touchdown catch. And UConn ties it up. Bryant Sheriffs on UConn's second drive of the game makes good. And a good start for both teams here today on this Sunday in East Hartford, Connecticut. And Brown takes it to a knee, so the Pirates here pass goes out here to Trayvon Brown. Makes the first man miss. And it's tackled a yard shy of an ECU first down. Randy Edsall, head coach of the Huskies, back for his second stint here at UConn. Was there from 1999 to 2010 when he brought them through FCS up to FBS.
Yeah, we met with him yesterday. Seemed very relaxed. Second time around here at UConn, and a lot more experience, I would say, this time around.
Tyshawn Dye runs for the first down for the Pirates. Dye is a transfer out of Clemson. Graduate student, their leading rusher, the only one with more than 100 yards rushing on the season through 3 games.
And you'll see one thing Scotty Montgomery did this year at ECU. He went out. He didn't go out. They kind of found him. They got some transfers. Dye, as you said, played at Clemson. They got some good experience on this ECU roster.
Keeper now by Sirk and gets into UConn territory for a gain of 3.
Yeah, Cole Ormsby, 57. The defensive lineman did a good job staying home, but you can see with the physicalness of Thomas Sirk, you get up and still pick up 3 yards on first down. A positive game for ECU.
Second down, Sirk gets it to Howell, makes a move, gets by the first man, Husan Howell. And a first down inside the 25-yard line. 23-yard pickup.
And again, excellent recognition. UConn sent a corner blitz that time. Sirk had plenty of time. Good job up front. Hit Husan Howell underneath. A little arrow route and a nice pickup.
2 missed tackles by UConn that last play helped him gain all those yards. First and 10. Sirk with a little pump fake. Now goes end zone. Caught again. Touchdown, Grayson. Second straight time. Another miraculous grab for the TD.
And it's just one-on-one. Jamar Summers, 21 for UConn versus Davon Grayson, 85. You're gonna see a little pump fake in here. Sirk gives him, you saw that little move in by Grayson. Sirk pumped him and then threw an absolute beautiful pass, a dime over the top of Summers where only Davon Grayson could make that catch. He dropped that in the bucket perfectly.
No doubt, and how perfectly timed was it, like you said, on the pump fake, the move, and Grayson with a 24-yard reception for his second touchdown today.
We'll take another look at here. Watch this pump fake from Sirk. That was right there where Grayson came in like he was gonna run a post, goes by him to the corner, and I mean, Sirk puts a beautiful pass over the top. Excellent concentration by Davon Grayson in the back of the end zone. And this East Carolina offense is looking like they're clicking on all cylinders early.
Well, there's Grayson's numbers. How about Sirk? 6 for 6, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Quavon Skanes, Jason Thompson back to return the kick, and no chance off the leg of Caleb Pratt. Sheriffs, after faking the give to mid, so the pass is intercepted. Corin Wiggins has it for ECU.
Yeah, Corin Wiggins, another one of those transfers, graduate transfer, played at Clemson last year, comes here. And this is what this ECU defense has needed badly, and that's takeaways, Mike. -7 turnover ratio on the year, only 2 takeaways. Make it third, you get the deflection. Wiggins is in the right place at the right time, makes the interception. This is a team last year, Mike, -16 turnover ratio, only had 8 takeaways and 5 interceptions all of last season. Got their third already this year.
That's what they needed for sure. The pass was intended for Quavon Skanes, and Corin Wiggins had 10 tackles last game, second on the team, and now comes up with a big-time pick.
And watch sudden change. Watch the deep ball here.
In the red zone, making it over here to Trayvon Brown. And he scoots inside the 15. It's a gain of 5.
Yeah, just a tunnel screen. Listen, I love the game that Tony Peterson's calling right now. They're moving it around again, keeping that UConn defense off kilter a little bit, and they're looking good.
What they're doing is what you just said a little while ago. They're staying on schedule every single play.
The pace and the rhythm looks really good for ECU today.
Second down play fake. Now to Quade Johnson with some blocks and gets inside the 10, and he has a first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 8 for ECU, looking to make it 3 for 3 on their drives here to start.
Yeah, and that was an RPO, a run pass option. Sirk sees the receiver open, puts it on him. You know, talking to Tony Peterson, he said he wanted his running backs running harder this week. Looks like those receivers are catching the ball and running really hard as well.
Sirk. And take it down after a couple. Nice play. Foley Fatukasi again for UConn. Second tackle today, but ECU's been able to change it up. They got more options with the running ability from Sirk.
And I think that's why he's in over Gardner Minshew. You know, Minshew was a very accurate passer. I think he understood the offense really well, but you insert Sirk and he can do a few different things, especially in the run game.
To give to Darrell Scott, it goes right up the middle for the touchdown. 6-yard run for the TD for the transfer out of Tennessee. 20-7 ECU.
And that's what happens when you can go sideline to sideline with your offense and you can go vertical. You loosen the defense up in the middle. Now you just go a little inside handoff to Darrell Scott. And look at the blocking up front by that ECU offensive line. Scott powers his way in the end zone.
We've seen 4 different running backs in the game here today. Tyshawn Dye, Darrell Scott, Darius Penix, Husan Howe. They're moving the football. They're changing up their personnel. This looks good for them.
And let me tell you about this ECU offensive line. Messiah Rice, who had been out, is now starting at left tackle. Deontay Smith, who was at left tackle, 67, slides down to guard, his natural position. John Spellici, a true freshman who they wanted to redshirt, is now starting at center. Garrett McGinn slides down to right guard, and Brandon Smith, who's been their leader all along, 62 at right tackle, playing well. This offensive line is playing today how they should be playing all season.
Sirk, the quarterback for the Pirates, 9 for 9 with 123 yards and 2 touchdown passes already. Again, no chance of return for ECU. Scotty Montgomery, head coach for ECU, went to the elementary school where Keontae Anderson's mother, Tia Chapman, works to deliver a special Mother's Day news about her son.
Keontae, guess what? I just got presented with the best Mother's Day gift ever. You're on a full scholarship for ECU, and your name and number is on this letter.
I cried. I cried about 5-10 minutes. Dreams do come true.
Well, yes, they do, for sure. Keon Dixon here for UConn across the 30-yard line, but back to Anderson, a Division II transfer. Rini, he was getting ready to quit the team because they couldn't afford school. And then he gets a scholarship.
You just love those stories, and he deserves it because he's playing really, really well.
Second down run for the Huskies, just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short here, as that was Nate Hopkins, redshirt freshman running back.
And an important down here for UConn to keep the chains alive. You do not want to put your defense back out there this quick, especially on a very hot day that's going to approach 90 degrees here in East Hartford.
ECU trying to line up here defensively. It's 3rd down and 2. Sheriffs, and it's not going to get there. That's Jalen Price, the defensive tackle for ECU, that makes the stop. It's 4th down.
You know, Robert Prunty, the new defensive coordinator, is the defensive line coach as well, and he's been waiting for his unit to step up and play, and they're doing Omen's work today, getting off, shedding the blocks, keeping your head up, seeing where the running back is. That time the quarterback on a quarterback power, and Jalen Price does an excellent job to make that tackle to force the punt.
Brett Graham with his second punt today, as Quade Johnson awaits it for ECU. Fair catch at the 24-yard line. ECU's been on the go. They've scored on their opening 3 possessions of the game, and they're doing it quicker each time. Really, the last one under 2 minutes. And a catch on the outside by Quade Johnson. Not much there. They had a 3-minute and 50-second scoring drive to start. 3:02. And then 1:58. Of course, that came after the interception in UConn territory.
Yeah, the pace is the way ECU wants to run their offense.
Again, they get it on the end around of Trayvon Brown. They've done that 3 times already in this first quarter. I'd like to get that wide out on the edge. 6'2", 211. He's got some power out there.
They're strong, they're physical, and they have good speed as well. And you see him really attacking the perimeter against UConn, blocking on the perimeter as well, trying to set that edge, turn it up for 7 yards to make this a manageable 3rd down here.
This one is caught by Johnson, but he is just shy of the first down.
And decision time for Scotty Montgomery. And the way his offense is moving, I wouldn't be surprised if he says we're going to go for it here.
Deontay Smith, the left guard, is down and now getting some help up here for ECU. Well, they'll have the end of the first quarter to talk about it, Brady, and see what they want to do. Thomas Sirk has been outstanding. So has Davon Grayson. He has 2 touchdown receptions. It is 21-7 ECU after 1. Back with a second quarter after this. Welcome back to UConn as we get set for the start of the second quarter here today in this American Conference matchup. ECU and UConn 21-7. The Pirates over the Huskies. Now 4th down to begin the second quarter, Rini, and you called it, ECU going for it.
And I don't think Scotty Montgomery needed the first quarter break to make his decision. He was going for this all along.
Thomas Sirk, the QB keeper, 1st down, yes.
And again, this is just quarterback power, folks, and what it does is gives you an extra blocker. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Darius Penix is a true freshman that they really like, 27. He's a 230-pound back, and he just led the way there for Sirk, a big 220-pound quarterback. They power and get that first down.
Sirk gets it out to Brown, and it's one-on-one on the outside. He gets close to the 40-yard line. It's a good gain of 7. We had Deontay Smith on the offensive line come out. He got injured, the left guard, so they moved Garrett McGinn, the right guard, over to left, and DeMarcus Shaw, 52, comes into the right guard spot.
And it still didn't stop his decision to go for it. That's how much confidence he has in his offense today.
Second and short, Sirk. Oh, what a catch by Trayvon Brown, reaching out for the first to the 29-yard line.
As good as the other 3 receivers are that ECU has, Trayvon Brown may have the best ball skills. Look at him go up and snatch that ball with his hands. A big physical receiver. That's how you do it in traffic.
That's a 12-yard reception, and this is the 10th play of the drive upcoming for ECU. They've scored on their previous 3 possessions. Darius Penix, and it's held up for maybe a yard. Their playbook has been opened up a little bit here today.
I think so. And, you know, what I really like what Thomas Sirk's doing is he's spreading around. You're seeing some vertical shots, right? We're seeing some seam. We're seeing a lot of bubble screens, right? And picking and choosing when and where they want to run the ball. They're dictating right now the way this game is being played.
And they've had a lot of options because they've been ahead of the change. You have so many more choices.
Sure does. When you're ahead of the change, it opens the playbook up, makes it much easier.
A rare second and long here, if you will, right now for them. Pump fake Sirk. Last time it went for a touchdown. This time it's overthrown as he targets Malik Gray for the first time today. Junior wideout, just his 2nd game of the season.
Yeah, good coverage that time by the UConn secondary. They send a blitz once again. That offensive line for ECU protects Sirk, but just good coverage downfield, nowhere to go. And finally get him in a 3rd and long situation. Important for this UConn defense to try to step up here.
Sirk over the middle, and Baggett wasn't looking for it. The tight end, it's incomplete, and it's 4th down. Let's see here, a field goal try coming
and
up.
you see Sirk point to his head. Baggett needs to look. The middle of the field was open. He needs to stem his route. He needs to start going straight and look for the ball. He's running into the defender, not looking. Instead, he needs to stem it up straight, look for that ball, and he probably has a touchdown on that play. At least the first down.
Here comes Jake Verity for the field goal attempt. A 46-yard attempt from Verity. Count it. And ECU has had 4 offensive possessions. They've scored on them all. 3 touchdowns and that field goal, 24-7. Randy Edsall, 13th season now at UConn, was here previously from 99 to 2010, spent 12 years for the Huskies. Went to the Fiesta Bowl. Has a lot of work to do here now, Randy. Things have changed a lot. We talked to him, and they've got some things they got to get figured out a little bit.
And it's not going to happen in 1 year. Randy Edsall knows that.
Jordan Swan on the return for UConn. And to the 20-yard line. Here's a look at Randy Edsall and his timeline. UConn head coach beginning back in 1999. Winningest coach in school history. That Fiesta Bowl in 2010. Then went to Maryland for 4 seasons, and after spending last year with the Detroit Lions in the NFL, back here at UConn.
Again, I think he's more relaxed the second time around, obviously more experienced, and he'll turn it around here. There's no doubt in my mind. He's got a good coaching staff, and I think the fans know as well. It's going to take a few seasons.
Kevin Mensah. There's a guy they really like with the speed and athleticism on the edge. First down close to midfield. So they said they're lacking a little bit, but not with this guy.
Yeah, they talked about speed, and Kevin Mensah from Worcester, Mass, true freshman. They like his burst, and we see it right there.
And right back to him, and this time he's wrapped up for no gain. Kendall Futrell on the tackle for ECU. Right after Mensah ripped off 29, that one no gain.
And you see Futrell, we'll call out a lot of names from that ECU defensive line. They're gonna rotate a bunch of guys through, especially on a hot day like this. That's what they normally do though. Again, good job to get to Mensah for no gain there on that carry.
Arnel Newsome spells Mensah in the backfield. It's a play fake twice by Sheriffs. And not much you can do, but does eke out about 4 yards into ECU territory.
And Futrell again does not give up on the play. Got a great motor, gets the Sheriffs from behind after the 6-yard pickup.
UConn now 3rd and 5, early second quarter.
So we don't have what?
Check back to the sidelines and maybe a change up on the play here as Newsome shifts. Over the middle in traffic, looking for Keon Dixon.
And ECU showed blitz that time. They walked out. You know, we talked about Robert Prunty, the new defensive coordinator, was a D-line coach. He's familiar with this league, came from Cincinnati, doing a nice job. This defensive unit is playing well for him.
I was going to ask you if you're okay with going for it on 4th down there. They're going to punt this one away.
Well, you know, as good as the ECU offense is, boy, if you give them the ball here, you know, I think if it was 4th 1 or 2, I think they would probably go for it. 4th and 5, I think they're going to kick this thing away.
Well, you're right. And if ECU hasn't scored on 4 possessions in a row, all 4 of their possessions today. It's the 3rd punt for UConn. Clay Johnson's got undercut. Flag comes in.
Yeah, and that's kick-catch interference. Although he didn't do it on purpose, you have to give the returner a chance to get to the ball and catch it. He was trying to get there, got run into. That's going to be a penalty on UConn.
Kick-catch interference, number 26 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot, a foul. 1st down, timeout.
That was on Kyle Buss, the guy that we were told was going to be in on special teams today, but interferes with Johnson. ECU, good field position on their 5th drive today when we return. Oh, UConn right in the face of Tyshawn Dye. A loss of 2. Junior Joseph and then Chris Britton with a help.
Well, and that's what Billy Crocker wants his defense to do. Not think as much, just read and react. And that's what you need to do if you're Junior Joseph, that middle linebacker, and he did it right there for the TFL, the tackle for the loss.
Pressure coming, 2nd and 12. Sirk stands tall and guns it for the 1st down reception yet again. They're getting a lot of players involved. It's Grayson. He has 2 touchdown receptions today. Makes another nice comeback right there.
And that's what an experienced receiver does. I'm watching it from the, he comes back to the ball. Excellent protection. Sirk doesn't panic in a pocket. Throws a strike to Grayson, who comes back, makes the catch, and moves the chains once again for ECU.
Another 13-yard reception. Sirk tries the left side this time. And again, Reedy, 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, whatever it is. 2nd and short.
Yeah.
All day so far for ECU.
And that time, Stephen Baggett, 86, the tight end, pulled around, led through the hole, and they're picking it up 4 or 5, as you said. And what that does is those UConn linebackers now have to hold. They have to defend that quarterback run game, but now you have so much speed on the outside. That's why ECU's having success today.
To give a Dye, making some moves on the cutback, and Tyshawn Dye. Strong run there. 15 yards for the graduate student transfer out of Clemson.
You know, the ECU coaches told us they wanted the running backs running harder. They wanted them pressing the hole. And what that means, Mike, is you get up into the hole before you start dancing around. That's what Tyshawn Dye did right there. Got into the hole, made 1 cut, and picked up the 1st down.
Howell dancing around, not much.
Well, you're reading my mind. See, he didn't press the hole there. He got the handoff. He started dancing and looking. You got to get into the hole. You got to press it. Once you get into the hole, then you make your north-south cut if you want to. But if you start dancing early, that's what happens. You get stopped in your tracks.
10th play of this drive. Inside the red zone yet again for ECU. Quay Johnson is the motion man. Instead, it's Grayson on the catch. He's over there to help block, and that's a short gain to the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. They can get another first inside the 3.
But you see what ECU's doing, boy. You got bubble screens left, bubble screens right. They're running the ball. Got some comeback routes in the middle. I mean, they're just really opening the offense up. And on a hot day like this, boy, this UConn defense has been out on the field for a lot of plays already in this first half.
Sirk hit as he throws, end zone over the head of Grayson this time. And that was Cole Ormsby right there on that hit on Thomas Sirk.
Yeah, and just, you know, Sirk's throwing that thing away, and his receiver can go up on that ball, somehow make a miraculous catch. Great form, but really throw that thing away, live for another down, and try to get another 3 on the board.
Well, if you're UConn defensively, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit better, even though they potentially giving up 5 straight scores and 5 straight drives. The first 3 were touchdowns, and now the 2nd straight field goal attempt. The last one was from 46. And Verity here on a much shorter one of 26 connects. 27-7 ECU here at UConn. 2 field goals today by ECU of 46 and 26 yards. Look at the total plays, Rainey, 45-16 so far here on this one.
And the thing that sticks out, you look at the 45, that's 45 plays of defense that UConn's been out there already with 5:51 left to go in this first half.
Offensive coordinator Tony Peterson for ECU on the left there, and Rhett Lashley for UConn on the right. And drastically different so far here today. There's been some good kicks by Caleb Pratt, too, and no chance at a return for UConn all day. Sheriff's pass out to Mensah. Kevin Mensah, making Pirate defenders miss, gets up to the 1st down and has it.
And a really important drive for UConn to get down there, get some points on the board here before halftime, and more importantly, let your defense rest. You know, take some time off this clock.
Hopkins powering his way. There you go. Rainey gets right up in there for 5 yards.
And again, if you can get 5 yards on 1st down, and we've seen ECU do it this entire first half, it opens up the playbook for the offensive coordinator and lets you do some more things. You're ahead of the chains when you can get 4, 5, 6 yards on 1st down.
Freshman running back Kevin Mensah back in. And he'll get this pass. As Sheriff's got hit, but ECU defenders are there to bring him down. 2-yard gain in midfield. Those defensive linemen are quick. That was Keontae Anderson right there, 96. He read it, he recognized, and then he let his teammates get there to make that tackle. It's just excellent hustle by that defensive line for ECU. Third down from midfield. Possibly 4-down territory, depending what they pick up here.
Here we go, D.
Sheriffs with time. Nice reception made. And they're able to get the 1st down. That's Skanes that time, Quavon Skanes. And you saw the catch, and he knew he had to fight for another couple yards to keep the chains moving. He did a nice job there. Another quick hitter, and they're moving well here on this drive. It's 2 in a row to Skanes. And this is the tempo and rhythm they want. UConn with 2nd down. To Mensah. Gets away and breaks free. Kevin Mensah. 1st down inside the red zone for the Huskies. Yeah, and that's the burst you like to see. And the offensive line, nice job as Mensah feels his way, turns those shoulders north to south, and a nice pickup. Sheriffs from Mensah again, and gets tripped up. So the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal on the way. How about the first 5 drives of the game for UConn, Rainey? 4 first downs. They already have 5 on this drive here.
It looked like a different team. And again, before this drive started, imperative that they move the ball, take some time off, and put a score on the board.
Sheriffs. End zone. Incomplete. Donaldson thought he had a 2nd touchdown grab. But it was just out the back of the end zone.
You can always tell by a receiver's reaction. Donaldson jumped up because he believes he caught this ball in the back of the end zone. Good throw by Sheriffs. Yeah, and I think that's a good call by the official because you saw the elbow come out of bounds. Ball kind of moved.
Didn't have it.
Yeah, didn't control it.
Single tight end set, 4 receivers. Sheriffs, keeper, blocking, down to the 1. Solid effort, but just shy.
Watch the offensive lineman get out in front, especially 77 Trey Rutherford. If Sheriff cuts this back in, I want him to plant his right foot right here. Get off the butt of 77 Trey Rutherford, your big offensive lineman, and you score a touchdown there.
They say cut back
Correct.
to the left of
Yes.
77 inside.
Plant that right foot, get off his big butt, get inside. Trey Rutherford, 6'5", 312. Get back inside of him and you score a touchdown.
Double tight end set. 2 receivers, 4th and goal, UConn from the 1. It is Hopkins, touchdown, UConn.
You know, I've been giving a lot of love to that ECU offensive line today, and rightfully so. This drive, that UConn offensive line came alive, did a nice job up front, and UConn goes down and gets a must-needed touchdown in this ballgame.
Big drive for the Huskies. We've reached the half. ECU 27, UConn 14 here today from East Hartford, Connecticut. 27-14, ECU over UConn as we get ready for the start of the 2nd half as you are watching The American on ESPN. Mike Corey alongside former NFL and UMass All-American running back Rini Ngolia. First half action, very competitive game here today like we envision between these 2 teams looking to kind of get jump-started in this conference game today.
You know, ECU offensively, Mike, they're doing what they want to do. The tempo's up, the pace is up, 51 plays in that first half. They're playing some good football today.
ECU was able to score on their first 5 possessions of this ball game. They had 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. What was the difference? What did you see from them in that first half?
I just think the rhythm, the timing, the pace, spreading it around, a good run-to-pass ratio, and boy, 3rd down conversions, they were great in that first half, and that UConn defense just couldn't get off the field.
2-possession ball game, and ECU will start with a football here in this 2nd half. They won the toss and deferred. Team that comes in at 0-3, UConn at 1-1, first conference game of the season for both. That was moved up due to the rescheduling from Hurricane Irma.
Boy, you look at those numbers, Mike, and I know I said it earlier, 51 plays in the first half, almost 20 minutes, 19 first downs, and just on a hot day approaching 90 degrees, that's too many plays for that UConn defense to be on the field. They got to get off the field here in this 2nd half, get it back to their offense.
Michael Tarbut kicks off. And a touchback for ECU to begin with a 13-point lead. One of the wide receivers, though, is out and not really feeling that well, Jimmy Williams, so we may not see him for the rest of the day. We haven't seen him at all today. As Sirk goes to the air, but we have seen Grayson, Davon Grayson, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, make it now 3 for the game. $75 yards on the opening play of the 2nd half.
You know, Davon Grayson's a receiver that missed all of 2016 with a back injury. Here he just runs right down the sideline. Excellent pass by Sirk to drop it in over Trey Bell, the corner number 1 that was up before the safety could come over on top. Drops it in there. Grayson makes the catch and just off to the races. I mean, 75 yards, first play of the second half. You can't give that up if you're UConn.
That was the thing that has really hurt ECU this season, is giving up huge plays, and UConn allows this one.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Bell had safety help over the top with Tyler Coyle. He just couldn't get there that quick. Sirk drops it in perfectly in stride. And you see Grayson cuts it back, and there's no one in the middle of the field because Coyle had come over, and they're not going to catch him.
What a day here today, and we're only 10 seconds into the start of the second half. He already has 138 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And, oh, by the way, this is an ECU offense coming into this game, Mike. 116th in the nation, only averaging 17 points a game. 121 rushing, 84. I mean, it's just a different offense. Different competition as well now that you're into conference play. They played some good ones to start out.
Correct. You look at it, West Virginia, Virginia Tech.
Some good ones.
Yes, a little bit different here today for sure, and it's no knock on UConn. It's just that they're getting their offense going to the way they want to do it. As Skeens comes on the return for UConn and gets to the 25-yard line. Brian Sheriff's on the handoff, gets it to Kevin Mensah. He stopped after just a gain of 1. UConn's had 7 total drives in this game. Only one of them has gone on longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Sheriffs, good job to Donaldson. His first career catch in that first half went for a touchdown. Almost had his second career catch for a touchdown that was ruled incomplete in the back of the end zone. Sheriffs over the middle, and it's caught by Keon Dixon. First down, and just like that, UConn gets into ECU territory.
Good patience by Brian Sheriffs there, sit in the pocket, and he gets it over the outstretched arms of the linebacker, Jordan Williams, to his receiver, Keon Dixon.
Huskies moving fast after a 19-yard reception. This is Arnel Newsome, ekes out 4. And if you're a UConn fan, you think about what you could potentially see, and you're watching here already, is how this UConn offense can move when they're in rhythm.
Yeah, listen, this offense, again, way different than what they ran this year, and it's tough. This is Brian Sheriff's 4th offensive system he's been under. I mean, that's tough for a quarterback, but he said he really likes this system.
Mensah needs to get to the 25, is just a little bit shy. Or no, does he have it? Yeah, first down, good spot. Just got inside the 25.
You know, in talking to Sheriffs yesterday, he basically said this is a fun offense. He loves to run it. He's learning it with each rep, each practice. And, you know, Rhett Lashley has brought some liveliness to this UConn offense. Now it's just a matter of them going out and executing.
And a quick pass is incomplete to Dixon.
And those are the mistakes you can't have. You know, Dixon's out there. He's got blockers in front of him. Sheriffs puts it on him, and you know, the young receiver, he knows he needs to make that catch, and that's a case where you're thinking about running with the ball before you secure it.
Offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley. Second down, look out. We'll set up the screen, and it's going to go for the touchdown to Donaldson. Second one today. Brilliant on the play call. 12-yard touchdown.
Beautifully executed there by the UConn offense. ECU sends a blitz. Sheriffs doesn't rush it. Gets it to his receiver, Mason Donaldson, on a tunnel screen. You saw the offensive lineman out in front. That's how you run that play.
They had it ready. They wanted that there. They just dumped it right over the blitz and the defense by ECU. It's a 75-yard scoring drive for UConn, and another big answer, like you said. Back to a 13-point game now. Donaldson, no catches coming into today. Now he's got 2 touchdowns for his career. Brian Sheriffs and UConn responding after the opening drive for the touchdown by ECU to begin the second half, and they go right down the field. 75 yards for a TD of their own.
Offense is doing their part for UConn. The defense just needs to step up. Listen, Billy Crocker, the defensive coordinator, said, I need to keep it simple so they can play fast and aggressive. But they have to step up and make some plays against these ECU wideouts that are having a big game.
Hal, flea flicker. Back to Sirk. Over the middle for Grayson. He's got it. First down to the UConn 30-yard line.
This is just an old-fashioned flea flicker. Give it to Husan Howe, flips it back, and then Thomas Sirk just throws it as far as he can and let Davon Grayson go get it. The corner bit, there was no safety over the top, and Grayson goes and makes the catch.
46-yard reception. He's approaching 200 today. Now they get it out to Howe. And good yardage on the far side. And how about Sirk, presence of mind to get rid of it?
Do you see how quick, after a 46-yard reception, you see how quick ECU got to the line of scrimmage? Knew the play they were on, snapped it underneath, and they pick up 6-7 yards on first down. That's that tempo and rhythm that can be really dangerous when this offense is clicking on all cylinders.
No doubt. Second down, Sirk's pass again, Grayson. You can't stop him today. He's got a first down to the 15-yard line. You mentioned this movement of this offense reminds us of teams we did a lot last year in the American, Tulsa, SMU, the way they practice.
Yeah.
Giving the ball to the official and getting down the field.
And getting the ball in the hands of your skilled players in space. That time, Thomas Sirk looks. Listen, you're going to give Davon Grayson 8-9 yards of cushion. He's going to put it on him and let him run with the ball.
Howe gets away from the first man and may go for 6. He dives. Touchdown. Husan Howe scores it for ECU. Foley Fatukasi had a chance at him, couldn't bring him down, and it's a touchdown for the Pirates.
Talked about the young back pressing hold. This time he presses it and then he bounces it. Great vision, and I believe it was a receiver 88, Trayvon Brown. It was downfield with a great block. You see the dive, he gets it across the pylon before he goes out. Goal line extended, that is a touchdown.
14-yard run for the sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. How many 75-yard scoring drives are we going to have today, right?
And right now, this UConn defense does not have an answer for ECU. ECU leads it 41-21 early in the third.
20-point lead for ECU. 4 minutes into this third quarter, 41-21 here today at UConn. I mean, not to hide it, ECU was picked 5th in the East Division of the American. UConn was 6th. I think each team thought that, well, we got to win this game today. And we're going to go with a direct snap here. The UConn trying to change things up. And the new QB, excuse me, it's David Pendell who's in right now for UConn. Excuse me, it was Williams that took that snap. It's Brian Sheriffs back in the QB now.
Yeah, it was Donovan Williams, a wide receiver, kind of bring him in for a wildcat package and just couldn't get the snap.
Yeah, with the 15 Williams in there to try to change it up. Now it's back to Sheriffs who guns it, and it's Donaldson who's been the target today. First down across the 45-yard line for UConn.
He sure has. I mean, those ECU defenders, that secondary, they need to find number 82, Mason Donaldson, because he has found the soft spots in the zone, and Sheriffs put it on him.
Sheriffs quickly out to Quavon Skanes, incomplete. We give this UConn offense a lot of credit. They've had the ball deep in their own territory. Well, so has ECU, but it hasn't taken long for them to get right up to midfield and to start making progress.
Yeah, I mean, they have answered today. So I think Rhett Lashley's got to be happy with his offense. They're on first down, though. Again, you got to make those plays, get some positive yards to try to stay ahead of the chains.
Sheriffs. And again, Donaldson. And he's going to be just shy of the first down, a couple yards shy.
You know, talking to Rhett Lashley, he said he wants his offense to have 10 explosive plays a game. What he calls explosive is 16 or more in the pass game, 12 yards or more in the run. So they're doing a nice job thus far. It's funny talking to him because he said, Randy Edsel said, well, it's 20 yards or more explosive in the pass game, but Lashley uses 16.
Everybody's got a little bit different. Yep. Donaldson today, 5 catches, 106 yards for UConn. Third down, Sheriffs gets it to Beals, and he's got the first. And down to the ECU 33-yard line. You know, Lashley is a very talented coach. First season at UConn, coached for 12 years with Gus Malzahn, was there at Auburn for the last 4. He played for Malzahn in high school at Arkansas. And now taking his talents here as the Huskies look for pay dirt again as they get it down to Skanes, and he sets them up for first and goal.
This is RPO at its finest. This is run, pass, option. Sheriffs takes the ball. He looks like he's going to run. He sees the defender come. He throws it to the receiver at the last second. It's dangerous because you got to make sure a lineman's not down past 3 yards. They ran it to perfection right there.
Newsome on the carry. Arnel Newsome breaks a tackle and gets the touchdown. Eight-yard run by the senior.
It's the answer that the UConn offense now has been doing in this game. Now it's up to their defense to get off the field and get this offense the ball back.
Michael Tarbut adds the extra point, 13-point game again.
And this UConn offense now clicking as well. Here's the RPO by Sheriffs. Great run, throw it on the run, then give it to Newsome to pay it off for the touchdown.
Hey, there's Arnel Newsome for UConn, the guy that was right in this area in Ansonia, Connecticut. His high school, he went 43-0 back in the day, won 3 straight titles in his final 3 years. Had over 10,000 yards rushing. Football means so much to him here, Rainey, in his senior season. He wants to make it special.
And he's had a really solid career here at UConn, and he's the type of guy, again, swing passes, get him the ball in space there, the quick hitter with the tempo for the touchdown, and Arnel Newsome's a big part of this UConn offense.
ECU's chance now to respond as UConn has scored touchdowns in 3 of its last 4 drives. Pirates have been really good themselves as Sirk runs for a couple.
Yeah, Sirk decided to go left there on the quarterback draw. His big lineman went right. Lots of times it's better off following that big lineman.
Yeah. Career high, 353 yards, Rainey. We haven't even reached the midway point of the 3rd quarter. Well, now second down and forever here, 2nd and 30. Sirk, not much. 6 penalties now for ECU for 48 yards, and now that number is starting to creep up a little bit.
And this is where that UConn defense has to get aggressive. You got to keep them down here. Now it's field position as well. Get the ball back. Your offense has been gelling. Another big play, very 3rd and long. Listen, you give them the underneath stuff, Mike, but you have to come up and make the tackle and get off the field.
Have to be able to stop him here on 3rd and 25, right? We'll see. Sirk with time, short underneath, and you said it, Reedy. They'll give him that. That's Husan Howe, and it's punt time.
Yeah, you just cannot get beat over the top on 3rd and long. You give him that little pass underneath, come up and make the sure tackle exactly how you want to play it. Get the ball back to your offense.
Well, credit Billy Crocker in this UConn defense. First season as defensive coordinator. Coached at Villanova for a long time, from 05 to 2016 last year. And you know, he said, we got to simplify things.
Yeah.
And they have, and it's gotten much better for them. From the end of the 2nd quarter, now here into the 3rd. And over the few stops, Skanes on the return. Quavon Skanes, decked to the 20-yard line. from the 34. And Mensah held up this time after a gain of just 1. Now Mensah almost wasn't able to play his senior year in high school. They were worried that he wasn't going to play. They had some issues there. Finally got in there because, he has a potential career in college, and certainly here he is. And his mother, who was in tears when she called him after the game in his debut versus Virginia, just so happy for him that he was able to continue his career, see the field, and here he is. Now it's Arnel Newsome. Newsome breaks free.
And UConn has done a really nice job in the screen game. That time, another little slip screen to Arnel Newsome. The linemen get out in front, another big gain.
Now for Keon Dixon. And inside the 25-yard line as Holton is there for the tackle for ECU. This is a interesting drive here for UConn, as there's a lot of things that have happened on this drive.
And, Rhett Lashley's mixing it up a lot. We're seeing a lot of different plays out of UConn in this possession.
Eighth play here, the drive, and breaking through is Nate Hopkins. Has 1 touchdown today, and he was caught from behind by Corinne Wiggins.
And Hopkins is really their north-south, a bigger runner himself, about 6'1", 212. Good blocking up front as he hits it downhill. And another good series here, good possession by UConn.
First and goal for UConn. Sheriff's on the keeper. Into the 3-yard line. Second and goal. And there's Lashley dial up here. It's going to be Hopkins. ECU's ready for it.
Yeah, that's the 10th play of the drive for UConn here, and boy, they really want to finish this thing off with 6 and not a field goal. We'll see what Brett Lashley dials up here on 3rd down.
Well, Hopkins stays in. Sheriffs to the end zone, incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Tommy Myers, defended by Devin Sutton.
And that's a good play by Sutton. He's starting in place of Tim Irvin, who was the Auburn transfer who's hurt for ECU, and Sutton just rips the ball away, stays with it, and you hear the boo bugs because Randy Edsall decides to kick a field goal, but again, he's gonna try to get it, within 10. Still got a quarter to go, and he's happy the way his defense plays, so this is the decision he's going with.
I agree with you. The defense has been playing better. The offense has moved the football. They know they can get back here again. This is their first field goal attempt this season for Michael Tarbut, and he connects. 20-yarder, and it's a 10-point game.
And you just look at the difference between the first 5 drives of this game and the last 5. And another reason why I think he kicked it there, Mike, is, well, you go for it there on your 11th play of a drive and you get stuffed, it's deflating, right? It's a good drive. You put points on the board. You still got over a quarter to go in this game.
A lot of long, sustained drives in this ball game today by both teams. That was a 12-play, 77-yard drive by UConn, cap of the field goal.
One thing's for sure. No matter who wins this game, both head coaches are going to come out of this game really happy with their offensive play. One will be a little happier than the other,
yes,
but they're both going to be happy with the offense.
50 ticks left in the 3rd. Tarbut has been consistently doing that. First and 10 from the 25. And it's Darrell Scott, and he's ripped down by UConn's defensive front there for a gain of about a half a yard.
Yeah, Cole Ormsby that time getting off the block, and you feel the energy, right? The defense a little better for UConn.
Everybody's boosting up their numbers from this game here today, especially for ECU. after an 0-3 start. On a 5-receiver set, it's off the hands of Trayvon Brown. So UConn's got one more play here to try to get this one back. It's 3rd and long.
Yeah, and they're 3rd and long quick. And that time, boy, Trayvon Brown was there underneath. Sirk kind of rushed it. Brown kept going. The pass ends up going behind. But now another big opportunity for the UConn defense. And you feel the momentum shifting in this game, Mike.
Sirk, look out, hit as he throws, incomplete for Grayson. And it's an ECU team that started 4 for 4 on 3rd down, Reedy, and since they've been 1 of 7.
And this is what UConn didn't do in the first half. Make Thomas Sirk uncomfortable in the pocket. They get to him. It's not a big hit, but he feels it. He knows they're coming. He threw it a beat quicker than he wanted to, and it goes incomplete. So give that UConn defense credit. Billy Crocker, defensive coordinator, good talk at halftime to his unit, playing much better here in the second half.
Well, and minus that big play to start the second half, as you said, a 75-yarder, this would be a 3-point ball game. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. Competitive one here today with ECU and UConn. First conference game of the season in the American for both teams. ECU looking for their first win of the year. We are back with the 4th quarter with the Pirates up 10. Stay where you are. Welcome back to UConn in our rescheduled games of the American Athletic Conference. Of course, here today, and then next week, Memphis at Central Florida, a pair of undefeated teams on ESPN2, and obviously a lot involving USF and UCF out of the American with the Hurricane.
The Hurricane Irma caused a lot of havoc, but give the American Conference a lot of credit, Mike Oresco, to be able to get those conference games back and played. We know how important they are.
Pressure comes in. Sheriff's hit as he throws. Overthrows Donaldson. And a programming reminder for you here, those looking for the soccer game, 2 top 15 teams in the nation, North Carolina and Virginia. Women's college soccer is on right now over on ESPN News, and then we'll get you to that game when we are done here with 6:02 left in the 4th.
Yeah, good opportunity here for this UConn offense to get going once again. Again, only down 10. See if they can put a drive together here.
Sheriffs dumps it off for Newsome. Arnel Newsome, blockers in front. And Newsome still on his feet. How did he get through that? He's headed for pay dirt. Touchdown, UConn. ECU had a 75-yard touchdown to start the 3rd quarter. UConn now comes back with a 79-yard touchdown by Arnel Newsome, and we've got a ball game.
We talked about getting the ball to Arnel Newsome in space. He's really good catching it out of the backfield. I love the play design. He had an offensive lineman in front of him, but like you said, how did he stay in bounds down that right sideline? But he did. 79 yards later, this is about to be a 3-point ball game.
Oh, I can't wait to take another look at that. 3 points is right, 41-38. Arnel Newsome, his longest run of the season was 9 yards coming in. This one, somehow, some way, goes for 79 and the touchdown. Arnel Newsome with a 79-yard touchdown catch from Bryant Sheriff. So much of it, though, Reedy, was yards after the catch. He was in the flat and goes for the touchdown.
I love the play call by Rhett Lashley. I love the execution. Sheriff puts it on. Lineman out in front. Breaks some tackles. Good balance on that sideline. And, boy, what a ball game we have here today.
Technically for Newsome, his longest catch this season was of 34 yards. That one now the longest of 79. From scrimmage rushing, he's only had a run of long of 9 yards coming in. So this has been a real breakout game for him this season. And Chris Love now for ECU, a chance at a return, which we have not had many this game, and it'll be the Pirates' possession, but now leading by only 3. ECU and the UConn defense ready for Darrell Scott. Yard loss. They're fired up now. Cole Ormsby in there. 3-point ball game.
And we talked about it about a quarter ago, right? Just you felt it in the stadium, the momentum shift. And really, UConn has really stepped their game up.
And now really the first time today for ECU that they have not had the cushion on the scoreboard that they've been used to. Scott again. And not too much. Going to be a 3rd down and 6. Chris Britton made the play for UConn that time.
And you see the pep in the step of the UConn defense, getting off blocks, getting to the ECU backs and receivers making tackles.
5 wide for the Pirates as they empty the backfield. 3rd and 6. Sirk has a man, it's Grayson. And Davon Grayson has come up with some big-time catches today. Another one there for a 1st down to the 41.
Grayson's having a career day, so who's Thomas Sirk going to look to? Him. Just sits down in the middle of that zone, takes a big hit from the safety, Omar Fort. Holds on, and boy, what a big 1st down for ECU in this game.
No doubt, a way for them to chip away at some more time here on the clock.
Oh, by the way, another 3rd down conversion.
Right. We've had 53 1st downs in this game here today, over 1,000 yards and 79 total points. Scott stopped again. Same way that the drive began, with a yard loss on a 1st down carry.
Yeah, and Randy Edsel will start using some timeouts here as we get under 4 minutes.
Play fake, Sirk has a man, but UConn's right there on the spot for the stop on Grayson, and that was Jamar Summers, the leader of the secondary, coming up to make the stick.
But what it does, though, the completion keeps the clock running. And a huge 3rd down decision here. I'd be surprised if they throw it. I'm looking for maybe a little quarterback power. See if they can pick up the 1st down here. They're gonna definitely let this play clock run down as it's at 15 right now.
Grayson is at the top of the screen on the outside, the wide receiver, and Trayvon Brown has been big today. Bottom of the screen. Out to Scott. Not gonna get there. Junior Joseph for UConn. Speedy to the edge to make the play.
Not only does he not get there, Mike, Cardinal sin, he goes out of bounds. So Randy Edsel can save his timeout. Look at Junior Joseph, and that's the aggressiveness that Billy Crocker wanted his defense and his linebackers to play with. Read it, react, and make the play.
What do you think of that there? You got that toss going out to the short side of the field.
I don't like going wide there. I would have went quarterback power, but I'm not the coach. I'm not calling the plays. Keep it in Thomas Sirk's hands in the middle of the field.
Skeens awaits the Austin Barnes punt. That is going to go out of bounds. Excellent punt by Barnes. UConn's going to have to drive 89 yards.
Because even if you don't get it, right, and you run in the middle of the field, you're going to force UConn to call that 2nd timeout. Now they still have 2 left and can tie the game with a field goal and obviously go ahead and win it with a touchdown.
Well, they start at the 9-yard line, but you're right, a field goal here is all they need to tie this thing up after being 20 points down. Sheriffs. Well overthrown there for Skeens. Still 2 timeouts, but you got to get some breathing room.
Well, I mean, and you know, time's not an issue right now. So, you know, you take a shot like that vertical on 1st down. Now you're behind a chain, 2nd and 10. Listen, stay with what you were doing, right? I mean, you say that all the time. I think the offense was gelling. You don't really have to do anything different. Now, I'm looking right now, the ECU defense has gotten different. They only won a 3-man rush. Max coverage in the secondary that time.
They have backed it off. Mensah is in. They give to him. He's had a nice day. Gets a hole, gets close to the 20-yard line. Taken down at the 18, a yard shy. That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. Listen, they had success with Mensah running downhill off tackle. Good pickup there.
I'll respot the ball. Third and 1. Mensah, he has it. First down. UConn to the 25-yard line. You're right, no issue on the time here. 2 minutes to go still, the 2 timeouts. Interesting, however, about the field goal kicker, though, and Michael Tarbuck, because they had not attempted a field goal all season until today, and he's hit 120-yarder. Newsome, now that's behind the line of scrimmage, losing 2 yards.
And now you got to up the tempo a little bit, and they know that, but that's a tough one, taking a loss on first down. Good job by ECU. Been getting burned on that little slip screen to Newsome that time. They reacted and made the tackle for the loss.
Sheriffs. Second and long, hit as he throws, and that is an incomplete. Catch was made by Donaldson, but he's out of bounds. All right, 3rd and 12 here now, Rainey.
We'll take a look at this last one. Donaldson tries to make that catch, uses the ground to help, but his knee was out of bounds as well. And here now, Mike, 3rd and 12. Listen, you're going for it on 4th down.
Right.
So you don't got to get it all here. You would love to get it right here, but you don't have to, knowing you got 2 downs to pick it up here.
Try to get a little bit so you don't get caught in a 4th and 12 if you don't get anything. Here's Sheriffs. Pressure, he eludes it, steps up, has it in for the first down. Donaldson yet again. A flag is down, though, back at the 12-yard line. This is a first down. Yeah, does it stand?
It's coming back. It's holding. 44, Kendall Futrell. The right defensive end for ECU just beat the left tackle. I believe it was Matt Parrott. And he's got to hold him. He's got to tackle him. They get the holding call, and it's going to negate it. Watch, right side of the screen, down low. Look at just a little speed rush, and you see right there, 65 Parrott, just a little tackle. That's enough. The center judge is watching that, and he's going to call it every time.
And that is a killer. 3rd and 22 now with the clock running, 1:10. Now you got to try to do something similar, but it's see if it's enough to give you an opportunity on 4th if you can't pick it up here.
Yeah, and the clock was running. UConn didn't realize it. And it's going to run again as Michael Roach winds the clock.
Sheriff scuds it, has a man, and it's caught by Aaron McLean. First down and more up to midfield. Biggest play of the day today for UConn.
So one play like that could just erase everything. Erase the holding, erase letting the clock run. You're up towards midfield. 45 left in this game.
35-yard reception. Now Sheriffs gets to the Newsome, and he's smart to go out of bounds on the sideline. Stop the clock here. 39 seconds to go. How about McLean here, Reedy, over the middle?
Well, you know, the 2 safeties are deep for ECU. Yeah, you don't want to get beat over the top, but boy, you got to come up and make a play. He finds the soft spot in the zone. Sheriffs puts it on him, and boy, UConn still has 2 timeouts left in this game, Mike, and only about 15 yards away from a good, legitimate field goal opportunity.
Sheriffs uses the middle. And again, first down reception. Does that draw a flag at the end? It does. Skates to the catch. He got wrestled to the ground. Let's see.
After the play is a first down. After the play, personal foul, number 33 of the defense, unnecessary roughness. 15 yards to the end of the run, first down.
Cannon gives, and you can't do that, Reedy.
Yeah, you can't pick them up and slam them. Watch. They're going to call it. It's player safety now. Boy, that's a tough one to call right there. But they've been calling it. Now, if you're an ECU fan, you're outraged right now. For UConn, you're happy.
Newsome of the catch. Arnel Newsome. Had that 79-yarder earlier, and now a timeout has been taken by UConn with 21 ticks left. Yeah, that is a tough penalty to take.
And usually on those penalties, the guy gets lifted up a little more and suplexed down. You know, that's a tough one.
Bryant Sheriffs with 404 yards passing, a new career high. Can he lead them to victory? 21 seconds left. They've got one timeout. Second down pass, Donaldson pushed out of bounds at the 15. Oh no, the clock is running still, they'll say.
That's a correct call. He did not get out. His forward progress was stopped. And then Randy Edsall's going to call a timeout, and they're going to kick the field goal here.
UConn takes its final timeout of the half.
That's the correct call by the line judge, Lance Thompson, Mike. He makes the catch right here. He's starting to go backwards. You know, from there it doesn't look like it, but his forward progress was stopped. You see the line judge, Lance Thompson, wind the hand. That's the correct call. Clock's running, and they're not going to give him that. I mean, that's the way they call it. 6 seconds left, and you got to kick it here.
So ECU there catches a break, but as you said, correct call, so it's going to be a field goal attempt as UConn had to use their final timeout to stop the clock. And here comes Michael Tarbut for just his second field goal attempt of the season. He hit one earlier from 20. This is a 33-yard attempt to tie it. Kick is all the way. It is no good. Tarbut just misses it off to the right, and ECU escapes with a 41-38 victory on the road, their first win of the season.
We knew it was going to be a competitive game. Comes down to the end, you feel bad for Tarbut. He's within distance. The UConn offense did what they needed to do, got their field goal kicker in there, and it's wide right.
Comeback falling just short for UConn today. That short, that much. Right call.
Yeah, I mean, listen, give UConn a lot of credit. Come within that field goal miss of tying this thing up, putting it in overtime. They could have easily been out of this game in the first half. ECU hangs on for a much-needed win, however.
First win since late November 2 years ago. The Pirates 1-3, UConn 1-2. That's all for us. Time now to send you to Charlottesville for North Carolina and Virginia women's soccer. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.